Welcome back to Primetime Sports. I'm Jared Oliver. Georgia State football had success with their running game. Head coach Trent Miles tells us more coming up. Men's soccer prepares for in-state rival Georgia Southern before heading into conference play. And women's volleyball gets ready for Georgia Southern as well on their senior night. So here we go. Primetime Sports starts now. We begin with Georgia State football and the state of the running game. Running backs have been hard to come by this season for what seems to have played a big part in all of their losses. Despite losing their top two running backs, Taz Bateman and Kyler Neal, they may have found a new answer. Last week, going up against Arkansas State, the Panthers rushed for an impressive 100 yards total. Joining me now, Primetime Sports correspondent and football analyst David Shilley. David, let's talk about it. Have the Panthers found a resolution to their running game problems?
I believe so. I was surprised to see Glenn Smith do so well, but then you look back at his high school film. He played quarterback and running back in high school, and he's very fast. This guy's very talented. I'm very excited to see what he can do, and this running game has just taken off for Georgia State. They were averaging less than 100 yards rushing the entire season, and they've only rushed for over 100 yards in 2 other games. And now that they run for over 100 yards this past game, I'm very excited to see what they can do heading into tomorrow.
Well, Trent Miles spoke about Glenn Smith a little bit. Let's take a look and go to it.
He'll be permanently at running back. I think it's a natural fit for him. He was an option quarterback in high school. We tried to get him to go running back last year in his true freshman year, and he wasn't quite ready or really wanting to. But he came to us about moving to tailback once Kyler went down, and I thought he did a really good job.
How much pressure will this take off of Nick Arbuckle? Of course, now they have some consistency at the running back position. So how much pressure will Nick Arbuckle not have now?
I want to say it takes pressure off of him. I really want to say that, but I can't, and the reason why is because of the Georgia State defense. The Georgia State defense allows too many points, and when you allow too many points, you put pressure on your quarterback to throw the ball, because when you're behind, you can't run the ball as much as you want to. So as good as Georgia State is at running the ball now, after they ran for 100 yards last week, they still have to pass the ball a lot because they may fall behind in the game. So I would like to say Nick Arbuckle is not in as much pressure as he was before, but he might be because of the defense.
All right, thanks, David. Just stay with us. We're going to come right back to you. Georgia State will host its final conference rival game against the University of Louisiana Lafayette Saturday. So far, the Panthers have been winless the entire season at home. The Raging Cajuns are 3-4 overall. David, home wins have been hard to come by this season. Will this finally be the game they may be able to get their first home win?
This may be the week that they get their first home win, and it's going to be a great game tomorrow. This is kind of like the Ball State game because ULL is not very good. The Raging Cajuns, if you remember last week, I said how Arkansas State ran for 306 yards against an opponent. The Raging Cajuns was that opponent. So Georgia State can run the ball on this team tomorrow, and they can have a great game on offense. They just have to be good on defense, so that way there is pressure off of Nick Arbuckle, and they can win this first home game.
Well, how much do we know about this U of L team, and who should we look out for?
Well, they're not very good, as I said. They're 3-4, and they allow 31 points a game, and they only score 30 points a game. So, like I said, this is a very winnable game for Georgia State because they scored 34 last week against a very talented Arkansas State team. But their defense is pretty talented in getting to the quarterback. They have 16 sacks on the year, and a guy by the name of Dominique Tovell has 5 of those sacks and 9 tackles for loss. So it'll be very important for the offensive line of Georgia State to protect Nick Arbuckle. It'll be big for them to open up holes for Glenn Smith in the running game. But like I said, very winnable game, and I'm very excited to see what Georgia State can do tomorrow.
All right, David Shilley, thank you so much. This week, Georgia State wraps up its first official practice scrimmage of the fall season. Head coach Greg Hardy spoke about his team's performance.
I thought Scout Day was fantastic. I just got through meeting with the guys, and I said that if we pitch like we did today, play defense like we did today, and situationally hit like we did today, we're going to be in a lot of games where we put ourselves in a position to win. Very happy with the team. there was moments where I thought we really looked outstanding.
And turning now to volleyball, the season is coming to a close. Earlier this season, they had a 0-10 record in conference play. This past weekend, the team racked up a pair of conference wins, beating U of L, Lafayette, and South Alabama. This upcoming weekend, the Panthers volleyball will host Arkansas State and Georgia Southern for senior night. Primetime Sports correspondent and Rashad Milligan reports. Rashad.
And what appeared to be an uneventful season for the volleyball Panthers, a 0-10 conference play start. The team is now undefeated in the last weekend in conference play, winning 2 games as they head into their last home weekend.
Halloween weekend 2015 was an outstanding one for the GSU volleyball squad. In matches against South Alabama and UL Lafayette, the Panthers dropped only 1 set to the Raging Cajuns and were led by the attack of junior Christina Stinson, who was extremely encouraged by the group's effort.
I'm just incredibly proud of my teammates. I thought we did an incredible job just coming in with that passion and that fire for the game, and just realizing and remembering like why we play. Like, we play for each other, and just coming out with that passion in the game and that consistency, that really made the difference.
Senior Deidre Bohannon said the team's focus was strong as it's been all season, and that began with the program's origins.
As a team, we just really honed in on like owning our own game and playing Georgia State volleyball, as Coach would say.
As any coaching great would do, Sally Pohamas reverted the credit back to her players.
They are very self-motivated. Even when we were 0-10 in conference, they came into practice ready to work.
Looking forward, Georgia State's last homestand of 2015 are matches against Arkansas State and Georgia Southern, respectively. The motivation to make the conference tournament comes down to one reason.
I mean, it's now or never, and we have 6 seniors on the team, and this is our last chance.
If you haven't been to a match this year, the Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Week and Pohamas have a message specifically for you on why you should change that this weekend.
Because it's going to be awesome, and we're going to go to the conference tournament, so we really need y'all's support this weekend.
As you can see, the team is amped up, optimistic, and they need little to no motivation. They're ready to play, they're ready to make the conference tournament, and they're ready for your support. For Primetime Sports outside the GSU Sports Arena, I'm Rashad Milligan. Play ball.
Thanks for being with me. I'm Jared Oliver. Remember, you can get all of the latest Georgia State sports news by subscribing to our YouTube channel at GSU Primetime Sports. Remember to follow Primetime Sports on Twitter at Primetime Sports with a Z. I'm Jared Oliver in Atlanta. Have a great week.